Yeah, huge win for Arsenal in the North London derby. It is looking desperate for Tottenham Hotspur, but a big win for the Gunners in the title race. And Mikel Arteta says he couldn't be prouder of his Arsenal side. That's nice, isn't it? After they responded to midweek disappointment with that win. Their 4-1 victory restored their 5-point lead at the top of the Premier League table. Arteta says they've shown what they're made of, bouncing back from that frustrating draw with Wolves a few days ago.
Outstanding. I think you have to give context to the situation as well, and this is the beauty of football. You go to Wolves, you drop 2 points in the last kick of the match, and watching it back, there is no understanding whatsoever, especially from my perspective, how the hell that happened. And then it feels like the end of the world, like how we've done that, and you are so frustrated and angry and upset. But then you have another opportunity, and that's the beauty of it, in a really difficult stadium against our rivals, and understanding how much it means to us in the league, but to all our supporters as well. So we lift everybody up immediately, and we said, now we have to show what we are made of. And that's about attitude and how you respond to a difficult moment. And I cannot be proud of the boys.
Let's bring in our resident Arsenal fan, Luke Henry. Lukey, perfect response, wasn't it, to that draw with Wolves?
It was. I can tell Arteta was like, I don't understand how we drew that game. Well, I can tell him how we drew that game, because we were very half-hearted and we didn't deserve anything out of it. And when you play like that in the Premier League, you don't deserve to win any football matches. And we paid the price in the last minute of the game. Listen, we can talk about what a North London derby means. We can talk about how much it means for the fans and the players, but I just wanted to see a reaction from them, because I've been quite vocal in the last few days. It's looked like a team since the turn of the year that has played with more fear, and they have been going into games, how I've viewed it, they've been going into games looking to not lose rather than going to seize it and win football matches. We have to take the context, as Arteta said, and the context yesterday that we played against a depleted Spurs side, and I've said it from time and time again, the table doesn't lie. They are not very good, and we had to win, and we had to win convincingly, and we did. So look, it's always good for the fans, it's always good for us. Eze loves playing against Spurs, and on to Sunday, but we can't get too high about it, and definitely can't get too low. It's still a long way to go.
I always love how you answer it as if you're one of the players, Lukey. You live and breathe it. I love it. You mentioned Eze there, you're right, it was big for him, it was big for Gyökeres as well. Come on to him in just a moment, but am I right in saying that was his first shot on target, Eze, since he scored the hat-trick? Is that actually right?
I think that might be correct, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
loves playing Spurs then.
It's weird. I mean, 5 goals in 2 games against Spurs. He's now 1 behind Harry Kane for open play goals, in North London derbies. So I talk about loving to play against Spurs. And I think the celebration meant something as well. And I want to touch on his overall performance, because I thought we saw the Eberechi Eze that we've all wanted to see.
How would you assess him as a signing overall?
Well, I actually think it's difficult, because playing for Crystal Palace and playing for Arsenal vastly different, and the way Arteta wants to play, it's a different way of learning, it's a different way of understanding how to play the game. I do think actually we don't give him the credit he deserves. He has played some vital parts already and had some really important moments throughout the season. However, people got to think about this. He hasn't played this much football as well when you're at Palace. You're now still playing in all 4 competitions. And I actually thought yesterday he was brilliant away from the goals. I actually thought his link-up play with Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side with Drew and Timber, that was a real nice there. There was some guile, there was some maverick. And in the second half, we saw him move out to the left-hand side. And in a team against Spurs like that, you look at the setup of Spurs and you kind of knew what you were going to get. They didn't have enough technical quality on the pitch. They were going to try and outrun us and try and fight us. And when you've got technical players, you have to move the ball quickly and you have to have mavericks in your team. And that's what Eze was very good at yesterday. And it was delighted that he got us 2 goals. There's 10 games left in the Premier League. I hope he plays a fundamental part in that, a big part in that, and I think he will, whether it's on the 10 with Odegaard or whether it's off the left. I think he can do both of those jobs really well.
It was a great night for Gyökeres as well. 2 goals, man of the match, really good performance. Pin drag us on, didn't he?
He did.
And actually, even before his goal, first one, which was a great finish, by the way, I just felt he was playing well. You kind of... The eye test, and this for me hasn't happened that often this season. The eye test was showing you that actually he was well in the game, he was making good runs. Like I say, he was pinning Dragosan. It's been actually a good start to the calendar year for Gyökeres goals wise. Do you feel that he's starting to win a few fans back over?
Well, you touched on it there. I don't know if it's about winning fans over. I think with Gyökeres, I think I think it's actually a victim of the way we've been playing in recent weeks.
Yeah, do you think Arsenal are now adapting to his style and that's bringing the best out of him?
Yes and no. I just think sometimes when I watch Arsenal play and we sometimes look at games that have gone by, we only have one or two clear-cut chances. And what impressed me yesterday was the volume of chance creation we had. And like you touched on, Gyokeres in the first 6 minutes has a chance. He flashes it wide. It's a good effort. And then he has one from the corner there. He cuts it back to Saliba. So he's getting involved in the game. So he's getting a feel for it. Rather than having one chance and then not touching the ball for a good 20 minutes, he was really involved. His work rate and his link-up play was very good in the first half. And the 2 goals in the second half. So 10 goals now in the Premier League. I think no player's got more goals than him in all competitions in 2026 in the Premier League. So yeah, he's finding his feet. That was his best performance by far in an Arsenal shirt. It was more complete. I will always say that I think he's going to be a massive part for us in the Champions League. I've always said that because I think the way the Premier League and Champions League is vastly different, and there's so much space in the Champions League, and I think you saw that with the first goal, for him, the amount of space that they had, Tottenham gave him, great finish. But he's going to be a big part, and we need him. And yeah, he's had a lot of criticisms to face. He's had to live up to the hype, hasn't he? He'll be the striker that gets us over the line. And sometimes that might be too much of a pressurised situation when you already play for Arsenal anyway. So yeah, look, we're going to need him. We're going to need Kai Havertz. We're going to need Gabriel Jesus. We're going to need everyone, and he's going to play a part between now and the end of the season. But delighted for him. I thought he was absolutely brilliant yesterday.
Yeah, I love the second goal. Archie Gray goes, get off, and then he sticks it in the back of the net. Really good goal, wasn't it? Right, let's talk about the context then, Luke. Because, look, I came in and saw you here at talkSPORT on, when was it, Thursday, after you drew with Wolves, and you weren't the only one, but there were some very, very sad Arsenal fans, and Arsenal fans, a few of which had almost given up, and even our friend of the show, Harry Simeu, who's very level-headed, was saying we're bottling it again, etc. What does this win do to your mood then when it comes to the title race? Because like we've said, it is a very poor Spurs team. Has it changed how you felt on Thursday? Do you still feel like Man City are going to catch up? How are you looking at it now?
I think it's 2 parts. I think, Tottenham, regardless of where you are in the league, you always want to beat your North London rivals. And it's the 4th time we beat them at their ground as well, so it's lovely. That's always nice to get over your rivals. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter because they're nowhere near us and we shouldn't really be thinking about them. Then, on the context of the title race, my mood, no, it hasn't really changed it. I think Wednesday as upset and frustrated a lot of Arsenal fans purely because of the way it happened. I think if the performance was a lot different, then maybe we could go, well, I could hide by Arteta's comments and say, oh, that's the beauty of football, I can't believe it. But we were sleepwalking into that game, and we should never ever have been in that position. Even in the first half, we scored after 4 minutes and didn't do anything for the next 40 minutes. And the application just wasn't right. It didn't look like a team that...
So do you think Arsenal will be caught then?
I don't think Arsenal will be caught. Because maybe that, I don't like saying it, but maybe that gave them the kick up the backside that they shouldn't need anyway, because that just should never happen. But maybe just for them, the Brentford result, the Wolves result, and now this result, it might just give them a little bit of opportunity to breathe. And like I keep saying, just go and enjoy it. I know it's very hard for us fans to say that because we want it. We've wanted it for so long, for 20 years. But it should be, Noni Madueke said it against after Brighton in the FA Cup. Wigan, the FA Cup. This must be, it's the most exciting time to be an Arsenal player. You're in all 4 competitions and you've got a genuine chance of winning all 4. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we are favourites, one of the favourites in the Champions League. We've been winning the Premier League, FA Cup as well, Mansfield, no disrespect, that's a nice tie, and a cup final against Manchester City. I just want to go and see them enjoy it and embrace it and wherever that means. However, I do think between now and the end of the season, I think Arsenal can't afford to lose a game of football, and I don't want them to lose a game of football. I think it's going to be 9 wins, 1 draw, and that will secure the Premier League title. And that should be the mentality they have to do it. Well, we've won one. It's one defeat in the last 21 in all competitions.
A lot of drop points though. We have drop points, which has cost you a bit. Yep. And you've got that big game at the Etihad to come. Another big game between you and Man City. Yes. You just mentioned it there. Of course, is the League Cup final. Now, not only is it silverware, it's just such a brilliant, interesting game, especially from a neutral perspective. I think, is it 2 games before you play each other in the league? Is that right? Could be 3. Yeah. Not quite sure. Either way, it's a nice dress rehearsal for that game as well. How much importance are you placing on that? Not just because it brings silverware, which obviously has been lacking for Arteta, but with all due respect, he's after the big ones. The League Cup, from an Arsenal point of view, it's not going to necessarily keep him in a job if the only thing he wins at the end of the season is the League Cup. But psychologically for the league as well, That has become a massive game, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I said this at the start of the season. I said the League Cup could be very important for Arsenal because it could be a future springboard for success, and you don't know how your season is going to look in March, and right now it looks very, very good. So that is going to be an added impetus, obviously, to get one over Pep Guardiola. So I think it's vitally important. And also, we have to remember the possibility of playing each other in the Champions League quarter-final, and those games will fall just before the game at the Etihad. So we could be playing City a lot, and that's why, you know, yes, there's only 10 games left, and it looks like it is going to be a sprint now in the Premier League title race, but then there's still so much other football to be played. It's hard to say. I would say that winning the League Cup would have an impact on the title, but then again, if we do play each other in the Champions League quarter-final, then that might actually take precedence over what happens 3 days before, because you don't know. And I'm a firm believer in the law of averages, so I don't see any team winning all four if they played each other. But that might mean that you win the first leg of the Champions League, but it doesn't mean anything because you get knocked out. So I don't know. I think one thing I do know is that I think this is the season where, look, we've spoken in the past about this bottling narrative, and Arsenal fans will give you different variations and stories about that. I don't think that's ever happened. I think Arsenal have bottled it at all.
What?
No, in the last 3 years, I think there's context behind every season that I can paint. However, this season, there's nothing to hide behind. But I truly believe that this is the season we have to go and win the league, and we go there by winning at the Etihad.
So it would be bottled this year?
Well, there's only one team to play, only one person to blame, and that'd be ourselves. If we don't win the league, we've had opportunities to pull clear. But April the 19th, I think that's the game where we go to the Etihad and go to win, regardless of what position we are in the league, whether we're 2 points clear or 5 points clear. We go there to win, because then we know we'd be Premier League champions.
Yeah, you said that obviously Arsenal could play Man City a lot. As a Newcastle fan, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yes.
It's not gone well for us so far. We've got them in the cup though, so hopefully they get through with that one. Just one final thing. You said you said you want the Arsenal players to start enjoying themselves. Are you enjoying it, mate? Are you enjoying it? Or are you hating it?
I'm not enjoying it. I'm not hating it. I just
live like a bag of nerves, Luke.
No, I'm just at this position now where it's kind of up to them. We're going to be there. We support them. We think they're brilliant. We know how good they are. We know how good they can be. And, you know, they've got 10 games left. They've got 10 games left to be heroes, create a legacy, and be the first team to win it since the Invincibles. But, yeah, we're going to need every single player in that team. They're all going to play a part. I mean, even yesterday, shout out to Christian Mosquera. I mean, what a signing he's been this season. Came on for Timber. No one even looked like, you know, didn't look out of place at all. We are going to need everyone. And it should be exciting. But we have to, you know, keep the games going one by one. You know, like I said on Thursday, I think on kickoff, I said football can be beautiful, it can be brutal. Let's go and write the script.
I'm going to ask you one last thing.
Yep.
One last thing. Did you get away with one for that disallowed goal for Spurs?
Yes, we did.
Not a foul.
It's not a foul. However, I've been told as an Arsenal fan to, you know, don't moan and don't cry about decisions. So Spurs fans, don't moan, don't cry about decisions.
The other thing
is, the narrative is it wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah, I think you'd have won anyway, to be honest. Yeah,
I mean,
Luke,
they're terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, in the nicest way, they are.
Do you think they go down?
I've said it before they even lost to Bournemouth. I've said they need to be looking over their shoulder. This tag of them being Spurs, I get it, but when you look at the football on the pitch, Leeds look brilliant. West Ham look more revitalised under Nuno. I think Forest still have, you know, look decent and look good, and the new manager. Spurs just have no direction up top on the pitch. They are sleepwalking into the relegation zone.
Sleepwalking, free falling.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do go down.
Oh my word!
The narrative of being
an Arsenal fan's dream, isn't it?
Being too big to go down, I don't think it exists. You've got 38 games to prove yourself, and they haven't proved themselves yet. And yesterday they were very bad.
Yeah,
very bad.
Luke, you have been very good. Great to see you, mate.
And you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for Saturday, by the way. Appreciate it. Thanks for the help.
We did quite well.
Yeah, you did very well. Yeah, you did very well second half. Yeah.
Oh, we did all right. Just couldn't get the points over the line. You could see how much it meant to Man City as well. It's going to be so exciting, isn't it?
What do you think?
What?
Quickly.
What do I think in the title race?
Yeah.
I think Man City are going to catch it.
Do you?
Yeah,
do you think they'll beat us at the Etihad?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've done it before when you didn't bottle it. This is The Social here on talkSPORT 2 with William Hill, 18+, gamblerware.org. Next up, Luke mentioned Forest there. We're going to catch up with our good pal Max Scott. Forest off to a very unlucky start under Vitor Pereira.